Moment 3. Bum, bum,
The quickening.
yeah.
This is much less of a moment than the last two moments, if that makes sense.
Is it the creator's update of moments?
It kind of is. It's even worse than that because whatever one thought of whatever features they put in those creator updates, I didn't think much of them. There were at least new features, like there was functionality and like stuff for people to play with, 3D stuff, remember? This is just really small stuff, like alt tab change, print screen change, access keys in File Explorer, which people will only see by mistake, stuff like that. It's not much. I mean, there's a list, but it's not as far as like user-facing functionality. Maybe they're going to tie in some app updates to it or something, even though they're not really related, like that iPhone thing and phone link or whatever. I don't know.
Maybe.
Yeah. Whatever.
Maybe not. I don't know.
I'm going to talk about this at length today on Windows Weekly, but basically, I'm pretty sure that a moment is just a set of CFRs, and that unless you check that box in Windows Update, you might get some fast and some slow, and they're on these weird rollouts. Like I don't know if you remember this, like probably early December, Microsoft released an update to OneDrive.
Yes.
And it changes the UI to make it look more modern. But when I install Windows 11 today and do all the updates, I'm still on the old version with the tabs, And this something happens at some point where it just kind of installs. But I assume this. Were we talking about this offline? There's an ISO coming, a new ISO downloaded Windows 11 that's going to include everything through May. We'll probably include the new OneDrive. But even still, I'll just look at it on this computer. When you go into this settings interface, and the first thing is sync and backup, manage backup. Yeah. So depending on my computer, I will see 3 or 5 folders to back up. So one of the things that supposedly came in this update was they added the ability to back up music and videos, which I do see on this computer. But I just tested this the other day on a different computer, and it only has the original 3. And this is part of the problem with the CFR nonsense. It's like not everyone is not in the same place, and it's all these little things. And everyone's like, oh, who cares if it's unreliable? And it's like, I mean, this is a tough thing for anyone doing support. Anyone who's paying attention, anyone who has 2 computers, where you're like, oh, good, I can go back up all my folders. And you go to the second computer, like, oh, I can only back up 3. There must be something I can do to make this happen. There isn't. There's no download that makes that happen.
The important thing is you'll get reminded about downloading and backing all this stuff up when you go to click the power button.
Just saw that for the first time. Yep, I took a screenshot of it. Yes, I've never seen that before. It was a little, it was weird because, you have an accent color, and then for things that are potentially dangerous, you can make an argument for using like a red, little notification thing. It was like a brown color. I was like, I saw it. I knew it had to be what it was, but I'm like, why is it that color? I don't know. I actually went and looked at my accent color thing in settings. I'm like, did this do like an automatic accent color or something? No. So anyway, but yeah, I specifically turned that feature off. I would like you to respect that,
Why?
Respect.
They've already shown that they don't care. So.
Yep. I think it's worse than they don't care. I think they're malicious.
Well, I think they're motivated by profit, and this
is the enshittification thing that Cory Doctorow talks about. They get you in on the benefits of everything that they're doing, but at some point growth stops or slows and you're not making as much money, and you got to figure out a different way to monetize, and it just snowballs and it just gets terrible. And I don't know if it's avoidable, I don't know. So it's tough. This is a tough one for me.
More of a PSA. If you have a Google account and you haven't logged into it in a while, you might want to do that. Google's apparently about to purge a bunch of inactive accounts.
Well, they're not going to start till December, and they're going to start with the accounts that were created and never used, or used once. Like a lot of spammers. Like I see this every morning on the site, like blah 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 at gmail.com. Try to set up a spam thread or a spam comment or whatever. Yes, they're going to go after those first, and I get honestly great. They're going to send you multiple notifications, not just to the primary account, but to your, I think they call it a recovery account, right? and they're going to delete all your data when they do it. I mean, I would imagine by this time next year, this will just be the policy of record, but they're going to go into it slowly and see how it goes.
Yeah. So log in.
Just log in. Yeah. Just log into Gmail. Easy.
Really what you got to do.
Unless you don't know your password because you created it to do spam. I don't know.
No, there is that. There is absolutely that.
Oh,
there's also build next week, which I keep forgetting about.
Yeah, I haven't. Yeah, there's 2 days there, right? So day one's going to be like AI, and then day two, I think there's going to be some Windows stuff. So, because there's a Panos Panay talk. Interesting.
Dun, dun, dun. If he goes up there and announces moment 3, that's going to be a big air out of the balloon moment.
He'll probably talk up the continuous innovation and will give a much less detailed explanation of it than I have with regards to everything they've added since last September. But I think there's going to be at least a preview, like a little something about Windows 12. And if they don't explicitly say Windows 12, it will at least be something about the AI innovations coming in Windows. It'll be something like that. That's my guess. I don't have.
I think that's
briefed or anything.
reasonable.
I'm not, yeah.
Considering how heavily they're pushing AI in everything. We haven't heard much from Windows other than they kind of sort of put the Bing thing in search, but not really because you clicked it and then it opened. I know. It was a link.
Well, yeah, it still goes to the web, right? I guess the big Bing stuff in Windows is technically in Edge, which means it's everywhere, right? I mean, so that's not unique to Windows, I guess is my point. And
here's my guess where we start to see it show up too. If you, for whatever reason, have that recommendation setting still enabled, or you can see it on your start menu.
Yeah.
But what better way to recommend stuff than using AI, Paul?
I have cats, and they behave badly, and I yell at them, and nothing happens. And I have cats, and they behave badly, and sometimes I'll pick them up and kind of just toss them a couple of feet away, like get off of that thing, whatever you're doing, stop doing it, and it doesn't change their behavior. And I feel like that's what AI in Windows is going to be like. You're going to be like, listen, it's going to notice that you've turned this thing off 12 times, and it's just not going to respect that. It's not like it's going to learn from your behavior, which is the point, which should be the point of this, right?
Yep.
Seems like Paul doesn't like to be annoyed when he's working on something. Let's do more of that is the current strategy. And I don't, I think with the cats and probably with Microsoft and Windows, it's like any interaction is good interaction. It's like, wow, he clicked on that thing. It means he noticed it. Let's do it again. It's like, I clicked to turn it off. It's like you're not learning the right message,
I could see him doing something dumb too, to the effect of, hey, we noticed you don't like notifications during this hour, so we turned it off. But they'll tell you they did that by a notification.
Yes, exactly right. And unlike every other notification on your computer, it will make a sound.
Oh, at a different sound than a normal notification.
Sure. You'll be playing a game full screen and it will come up in front of it, even though Windows is programmed not to allow that kind of thing. We were talking about the bad old days of Microsoft and how a lot of Microsoft's behaviors today kind of mirror what they did in the past. In fact, they're very specifically doing like bundling, which is the thing that got them in trouble with antitrust regulators in the United States and Europe, right? The next step is going to be, and they probably still do this technically, but not to the degree they did like in the 1990s. And you might know something about this, is they'll start using like secret APIs that only Microsoft has access to. And they'll be like, oh, and if someone discovers them, because you can figure that stuff out a little bit, they'll be like, oh, no, don't use those. Those are internal. Those could change at any time. And it's like, yeah, but you're using it to make your product better. And I make this competing product. And now I can't make it better because I can't access this API. That's a classic from the Microsoft playbook,
Oh, yeah. We have an API so good, we will use it. And it won't change.
Exactly. Yeah,
but we'll tell you
it bypasses all of the user's choices. It's fantastic. It's, can I have it? No, it's only for us. Yeah. I don't mean that as a prediction, but based on the way things have been going, why not?